All right, we are live. Nobody's here, just me. So let me go ahead and. Oh no, that's not going across here. Well, it's going across on my side because I'm talking in my microphone. But is it going across here? Let me make sure. Okay, that's working. Okay, so we're going to go live here. Oh, wait, that's why. Hold on. Try it again. I thought I turned it on. Okay, there we go. Now we can turn that on. There we go. Now we can try it.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Errt Radio. Well, hello there. This is Butterfly, and you're listening to Errt Radio. And what exactly is Errt Radio? Epic Reality Radio Tour, your destination for entertainment and expanding your mind. So keep tuning in every day to explore the new depths of where we'll go on Errt Radio. Epic Radio Reality Tour. Further down the rabbit hole. You've reached your destination.
Alright, we're just doing the promos on the Errt Radio.
This is DJ Hemi, and you are tuned into Errt Radio right here on Mixler.com. Enjoy the show. All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. I have, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I got clouds. I don't have any, clear skies for me tonight. And the moon's gonna be coming up pretty soon anyway. It's gonna be kind of bright out there, but yeah, we got clouds anyway. So, not much to really watch there for us where I'm at. Okay, so what do we know about the Perseid meteors? That's what we should ask the question. And it's from a comet, correct? It's from a comet. Is the comet still going around, or is this just material left behind and it's still going around the universe and we happen to go through it every year? What exactly is it? I always thought it was tail dust from the comet. We could look that up. And actually, I got the screen share for the web page figured out. You know, to show the different things on the thing. I do have a fun video we could show right now. It's royalty free. It's a free documentary. Okay, do we know what the comment was at the time, or is it still out there? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's interesting how that stays there. Okay, Perseids are a specific meteor shower associated with the comet Swift. There you go. Comet Swift-Tuttle. So that's the most recent one that we've seen, right? The meteors are called Perseids because the point from which they appear to hail lies in the constellation Perseus. Comet Swift-Tuttle, a large periodic comet with a 1995 oscillating orbital period of 133 years. So we're not going to see that for a little while. Yeah, I remember when that was around, though. So then the tail dust is just caught in the universe out there, and we happen to be going through it. Is that it? I think that's it. I think I got it. We got to figure it out, by golly. All right. So let's see if I can do this right now. Tell me if you can hear this correctly and see it correctly. Okay, we're going to try a little experiment here. I was working on some stuff earlier and I wanted to see if I could do it correctly, and I think I had it. So then we can go to Chrome tab and we're going to go here. And we're going to go here. And there you go. I got it. Look at that, Genghis. You can see that, right? Yes, you can see that. Look at that. Holy cow. I got it. Look at that. And I can make it larger. Like that. And now you can really see it. Look at that. Now watch. Now this is a documentary that's free on YouTube. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that playing here. And I'll show you what it says. It's all about the universe. Since no one's here yet to join me, we'll go ahead and have fun with this. Here we go.
Since the very beginning of time, man has looked to the night sky and asked the same questions. Where are we? How far do the stars go? And are we alone? Today, these same questions linger in the minds of every human with an inquisitive nature. Is our world just a speck in an infinite universe, surrounded by many other worlds and species? Or is it possible that we are the only intelligent life in the universe? If our universe is truly infinite, then it is thought that anything that could happen has happened an infinite number of times. There will be infinite worlds and infinite intelligent life forms, even infinite copies of ourselves. But we may also exist in an infinite universe, which is one of infinitely many universes, each existing in possibly infinite dimensions. We all explored the many theories and ideas as to where we all are in this immense system, which seemed to come from nothing in the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. New understanding says this may not be the full story. We look at the ideas and theories from a human perspective and hear from our best scientific minds, who spend their lives trying to understand these monumental concepts. How do we try and understand what may be simply beyond human comprehension? Are we the only life in the universe? Given that the universe is thought to be spatially infinite, then it would seem impossible that our world is the only world to have started life. If life exists elsewhere in the universe, then will we ever meet another intelligent race?
Okay, there we go. Hello. Where did you go? They were here. Okay, try that again. I am not on mute now. So I did it, right, Genghis? You can see that video and watch that show. So I did it, but we had someone else in here. I think Shannon was here. And I didn't see it on time. Okay. Okay, we gotta get her to come back, and then maybe we'll have a show. Oh, it's already at 100. I love that charger, man. That charger is amazing. It charged up my phone. It was my phone was at 8%. This charger here, this is amazing. It's a USB charger. Okay. It charges up. It takes a while for it to charge up. But once it's charged, it charges my phone in about, I don't know, about 20 minutes. Quick charge. Okay, let me see if I can get her back. That would derail that. Okay, well, wait. There she is. Okay. Add to stream. There you are. Okay, hello.
Hey, Ron.
I
Am I
was, what's up?
Am I crackling?
No, I don't think so. You sound all
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, so
Oh, okay. That's why you're asking if okay. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I was wondering who was that now? You didn't have your camera on. So, you notice I got the video playing.
Yeah.
Okay. We can just keep on watching it, Bobby says. So, everybody wants to watch the video. We can keep on watching the video. You want to watch it?
Yeah.
It's a free documentary that's on YouTube that I found.
Yeah,
And,
we'll watch it.
yeah, it's a royalty free. So, it's okay to share it, apparently. And why not? Let's go ahead and do it.
Majority rules.
Yeah, so here we go.
Go.
Unfortunately, we have to go back to the sheer scale of the universe to realize that even our closest neighbors would take many light years to reach. Life could exist in so many forms that we would not even recognize it to be a living entity. Life might be so short-lived that it has come in and out of existence in less time than we can conceive of it. Or so vast and old that it is part of the universe itself, without us even knowing of its existence. Life could exist in different dimensions to ours, and again, we will never know of its presence. As humans, We yearn to know if we're the only intelligent life. But what would it mean if we did discover another superior life form? We consider ourselves to be sophisticated, intelligent beings, but to another more advanced race, we could appear to them as ants do to us.
At the heart of all humans is the fear of being alone. I hope there is more out there than just us, because otherwise it kind of makes us assume this big ego. And I think we have taken on this big ego of that we are all there is and we are all that will ever be.
Maybe it's stupid that we are thinking that there only is one world where we are living in, because it's infinity, so maybe it's like thousands and thousands of miles away, another world with other people on it, and we cannot reach them or see them, but maybe they're there.
In an infinite universe, other life has, of course, got to exist. Everything has got to exist. But whether there's other intelligent life out there, that becomes a much more difficult question.
I believe that there's more than that we can see now. Maybe aliens, I don't know. Because we also popped up in once with the Big Bang, so they can also be on other planets. And maybe they are hiding for us, you don't know, that they don't want to show themselves.
We certainly are not the only form of life. We just can't be. Not when you look at the vastness of what is the cosmos.
The universe is filled with stars and galaxies and supermassive black holes. The universe is filled with dark energy that we're not really sure what it is. Maybe dark energy is some type of alien that we haven't figured out what it is. And that all the aliens have evolved into dark matter virtual particles, and they just fluctuate around and talk to each other and do whatever they do. And we just think it's the structure of the vacuum.
In the 1960s, an equation was formulated to try to answer the question of the probability and frequency of contactable intelligent life in our galaxy. It was called the Drake equation, and it predicted that there would be conservatively 4,000 planets with intelligent life in our galaxy alone. Since then, the estimate of this figure has increased by an amazing amount. What is our new understanding of the possibility that there is other life in our universe?
I think the prospect of life out in the universe is reasonably high, because the conditions here and the conditions out there are probably going to be quite similar. I mean, we'd expect similar chemistry, we'd expect water, etc. It's probably tricky to get exactly the right conditions to get life going, so it's unlikely to be absolutely everywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is other life around in our own universe.
It would be a kind of massive freak in a way if the only place where there was life happened to be here on Earth.
If the universe is infinitely large, then one of the things that can happen appears to be life. And so unless there's something really special about us, and there's really no physical evidence anyway that we're special, then yes, intelligent life should exist elsewhere. Life perhaps more intelligent than us should exist elsewhere.
If it really is spatially infinite, then I am certain that we're not alone. If it's spatially finite, I'm just almost certain that we're not alone. Almost certain why? Well, for all the usual reasons. Because there are plenty of planets in the Goldilocks zone. As we start to look for planetary bodies, every star we've looked at over the last decade has turned out to have planets around it. We've already discovered a few relatively close stars that have planets roughly in the Goldilocks zone, and that's just from a tiny sample. So there must be very, very many of them in our galaxy. And our galaxy is only one of an incredible number of galaxies in the bit of the universe that we can see.
So if nothing else, the sheer size of the universe makes it hard to imagine that we are the only example of intelligent life to date. And the more we improve our technology and telescopes, the more we can see. The vastness of the universe has only just started to reveal itself.
10,000 years ago, we had our Earth, we had the sun, we had other things in the sky, which appear to be stars. We didn't realize that those stars were actually new solar systems. And nowadays, we pretty much know that every star in the night sky has at least a planet, and if not more. So if our galaxy alone has 300 billion stars, there's probably at least 300 billion planets. So there's lots of planets out there.
Even the finite universe that we see is vast. The number of stars in the sky, just an hour at one galaxy, is hundreds of billions.
But then we realize there's actually other galaxies that contain billions of stars, and those stars each have planets, and those planets each may or may not have life. So then we have a large thing which we call the universe, which has 175 billion galaxies with all these stars and all these planets.
In the last decade, we have found so many alien worlds, exoplanets around other stars, that we can be pretty confident that on average, every star in the night sky has a planet. If you run the numbers, it's potentially 4 billion Earth-like worlds in our galaxy alone. So to say that ours is the only place that life has arisen is to take a 4 billion to 1 gamble. Now, those odds seem pretty steep, and I'm not a gambler. Even if I were, I think that might be a bit of a punt, a bit of a stretch too far.
One of the variables in the Drake equation that has given the formula a lot of criticism is the number of times life starts on other planets.
I don't even have to talk about infinite for life. I think with almost certainty that we are not alone, that there is life in our galaxy.
It is a theoretical possibility that we are the only life in the universe, and we still don't know of any other life forms, no matter how crude. So is life starting on other planets a likely probability, or an incredibly rare occurrence?
Recently, we analyzed data from the Kepler Space Telescope. We analyzed stellar systems that have multiple planets, and we predicted how many planets would be in the habitable zones around other stars. So when you look up at night, you will see a star. Our results tell us that there should be, on average, about 2 planets in the habitable zone. So that implies that there's a lot of real estate, a lot of things that are vaguely like the Earth, rocky planets with some water on it. So rocky planets with water on it are everywhere in the universe, everywhere, probably an infinite number of them. And the carbon and water is everywhere. Amino acids are everywhere. Matter of fact, they're falling from the sky right now in carbonaceous chondrites. So the ingredients for life are everywhere, and not just in the origin of our Earth, but in the origin of all the Earths, the infinite Earths that I just referred to. But now comes the question, should we expect life there? Well, there doesn't seem to be an ingredient bottleneck, but maybe there's what you call a recipe bottleneck. Maybe there had to be some very unlikely coincidence of this coming into contact with this, and then had to be sulfur spring going on here, and then you have a tide going here, and you had that dehydration. In other words, such a complicated recipe in that life is very, very rare. And therefore, we don't see any aliens that have conquered our galaxy.
I think life has to exist somewhere else. Now, firstly, we have to think of what life is. So bacteria, plants, animals, those are all life. I would say it's nearly guaranteed that some form of life exists in our own solar system right now. If you look at Titan, the largest moon of Saturn, it has liquid ammonia, so it has rivers and lakes, essentially of ammonia. Now, we can't live off of that, but there's no reason you can't have something else that does. With Mars and the polar ice caps, I believe that we'll find evidence that life has existed at some point in Mars. well within at least a decade, if not sooner. So that's just our little very, 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 very small clump of our galaxy, which is just one of 175 billion. If you look at mathematically, it has to exist.
But how does life start? Some new ideas suggest that asteroids are like planet-seeding systems that carry the formula for life around the universe. But if that isn't the case, then chemistry evolved here on Earth in what has been termed the primordial soup. But we still don't know for certain.
It seems unlikely that we are very, very improbable. And so the best guesses is that there are many other civilizations in our galaxy. But you get back to the question, what causes life? We don't know. We don't know how life starts. But we do know that life started on our Earth fairly soon after the Earth cooled down, which suggests to you either life starts fairly easily, or else there's some divine intervention. Again, all bets are off if there's divine intervention.
Life seemed to start on Earth as soon as the Earth cooled down. This does suggest that life is relatively easy to start. But this is a sample size of 1. Until we confirm another life form, we still don't know for sure.
Life appears to have emerged here on Earth pretty much as soon as the conditions were even vaguely hospitable. So if life emerged so quickly on Earth, maybe it is simple for it to emerge elsewhere.
I actually think life might be relatively easy to kickstart because we don't know the exact mechanism by which life arose. It's very difficult to put a number. My suspicion is it might not be as hard as we're thinking, and potentially a lot of these habitable worlds could well be inhabited. Now, whether that life can communicate, whether it's intelligent life, again, it's just unknowable until we detect it.
One of the exciting things with astronomy at the moment is that we're really legitimately looking now for life on other planets. And it's something that within a decade or so, there's a very good chance that we might be able to measure. And I'm not talking about listening for radio signals from aliens. What I'm talking about is looking at the atmospheres of planets that exist around other stars and looking for traces of life in those atmospheres, things like oxygen, which we know is unstable. If you have O2, then it has to be being created by something because it's very unstable. It will rust, it will burn, and it won't hang around for long. So if you can see something like O2 in the atmosphere, then something's producing it, and that thing could be life.
Intelligent life is still one of the big questions. As yet, all the searching we have done has only shown us what a vast, lonely place the universe appears to be. But other intelligent life could take many forms, and looking for versions of ourselves could be entirely the wrong approach.
So we'd like to know how convergent human life is, or whether we should expect humanoids on other planets. For example, if there's an infinite number of life forms out there, what is their diversity? How different will they be from us? Some biologists think that they will be completely different. There's not a remote chance in hell of finding a humanoid out there like they do every week on Star Trek. Other biologists think that no, there are convergent features that produces humanoids and produce an elephantoid or produce a dogoid, and again and again and again. So if we go back 500 million years and then let it run again, we will find similar species again and again and again. Other biologists say, no, if you run the tape of life again, you will get very, very different things every time.
So the branching of life is very uncertain. At any point, life could take a turn from one species to another. In another world, man may never have evolved past the ape stage. So what is the likelihood of another human species on another planet?
How unlikely are we? Are we infinitely unlikely? I don't think so. but I don't know so. So the question is, how often is there life out there? There's reasons to go out and look for ET, because that would kind of prove it. On the other hand, it's worthwhile contemplating whether or not, we might be it. And so that is a question we can go out and answer by literally looking at what's going on other planets and seeing if there are signs of life, and then looking out and listening and seeing if we can hear the moral equivalents of ourselves. I don't know what the likelihood is of us finding something. The universe is very big. It's very hard for humans to even find ourselves. We've only existed for 100,000 years on a planet. And so that's like in a 24-hour day, 2 seconds in a 24-hour day. And of course, we don't for 40 or 50 years to any degree at all.
The human species is in its absolute infancy in terms of being able to be detected by other intelligent beings. The first signs that we existed were our first radio and television signals.
Wonderful new Westinghouse television set. With just one hand. Children, of course, love that film.
Hi, Red Riding Hood. Mighty Dawn. That's it. That's about the whitest white there is. Get a kick every time I see you standing there before.
These signals have only just begun in the timescale of the universe.
The first strong radio signals that humans broadcasted, our first radio waves that have been going through space and traveling, have only reached 11,000 stars. And there are about 300 billion stars in our galaxy alone. There's 175 billion galaxies. We haven't even touched a percent of a percent of a percent of a percent of communicating with these people. So even if they have just gotten a radio broadcast from the 1900s, they then have to return that signal back. So we're going to be waiting hundreds of years.
And this is the problem. The vast distances of the universe make it impossible to communicate with even our closest neighbors. Unless another form of communication is discovered, then our efforts to communicate are unfortunately still in the science fiction. This, it seems, is like the ultimate tease, as our best science tells us that the universe must be full of other intelligent beings.
The worry, of course, is that these things are so widely separated that we'll never meet these other creatures.
So it might be that the universe is infinitely big, in which case there's going to be lots of civilizations that are just far, far too far away to ever get in contact with us, that you will be totally outside their light cone even.
I see no doubt that every galaxy has at least one planet with intelligent life like this right now. So it's like 175 billion right there. But we're never going to be able to talk to these people, unfortunately. It's the same physics that we use to figure out they're there tells us it's going to be too long to talk to them or travel to. Not to say that we can't figure out something new to do.
But aliens may be much more advanced than us. They may have found a way to travel faster than the speed of light. So if they exist, why have we not heard from them? Is it possible for a short time? And therefore finding an intelligent civilization in our neighborhood that is in the technological stage of its evolution is maybe just too rare, akin to finding a needle in a haystack.
So maybe life on this planet has actually emerged at the earliest point that it could in our galaxy. In which case, why haven't we heard from anybody else? Because they've only just started as well.
We've only been around for 2 million years out of 4.5 billion years on this planet. So lots of planets could have had life at different times that we've never experienced or never will experience.
The universe is almost 14 billion years old, so you could have had advanced civilizations that lived 1.3 billion years ago and have long disappeared. Maybe will disappear within a few 100,000 years, the rate we're going, maybe much less. So I think life could be all through the universe. But for a practical person, I'd ask a different question. What's the likelihood that we'll ever have contact with another form of life? That's a very different question. And that now gets us to the finite speed of light. The speed of light is not infinitely fast. So if you were to try to communicate to anyone within some distance, you wouldn't get very far, have much chance of making contact with intelligent life. So you'd have to be around a very long time, maybe thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years, as an intelligent race, advanced race, to have any chance of contacting these other forms of life. So there's two questions there. Does life exist throughout the universe? I'm sure it does. Is the life contactable? Could you make contact with it and communicate with it in a reasonable time frame, being thousands of years? I think the chances are very, very small, if not zero.
So communication seems, but what about traveling to the stars to discover new worlds? One obvious drawback to this idea is that our lifespan is simply too short. A trip to Mars, our local planet, will take 4 years. A trip to our closest star will take over 150 years. So again, still seems delegated to the science fiction realm for now. But anything is possible, given enough time in an infinite universe.
We'll probably never experience another intelligent life form, unfortunately. So I believe that intelligent life form exists. Maybe it doesn't look like exactly what we think of in the movies, but maybe it does. Maybe they're identical to me and you.
So perhaps life is a common occurrence in the universe. But what about human life? How rare could it be? And if not human life, what other kinds of diverse life could exist?
How about human-like intelligence? If there's all this life elsewhere, they would surely get intelligent, build spacecrafts, and then colonize the entire galaxy. There's been plenty of time to do that. But we don't see spacecraft around here, or we don't see alien signals when we listen with the radio telescopes. Well, that might be that maybe human-like intelligence is not something that is a natural part of evolution. There are many millions of other species on this planet, and they are not evolving to become human-like. They don't want to become human any more than we want to become an elephant. Chimpanzees don't want to become humans. Humans don't want to become chimpanzees. And so humans are not some type of convergent feature of evolution. So that might be to explain why we don't see all of these. There could be life everywhere, but it wouldn't be spacefaring. It wouldn't produce radio signals. Or maybe it does, but then they get so fancy, they build all kinds of bombs, have big wars, and they kill themselves. It's the self-destruction bottleneck. So there's many scenarios you can think of that are consistent with no visible aliens and lots of habitable planets. $2 billion years ago, we literally were amoebas, and we evolved over 2 billion years into what we are today. So if you imagine that something similar happened on other Earth-like planets, and they have had 2 billion more years to evolve, then they're looking at us and they're thinking, hey, we're amoebas, and we don't even understand what they are, or we no hope of talking. You don't talk to amoebas. And so maybe that's the situation we're in, and that's why we think there's no other life form in the universe.
What if life is everywhere in our universe, but it is so unrecognizable to us that we don't even realize it on such small quantum levels that we can never see it, or such huge scales that, again, we could never perceive of it?
Is it possible that the universe is filled with aliens that we just don't know about because they're made out of dark energy, for example, or they communicate with neutrinos, or they communicate with radio wavelengths that are so long that we don't know about them? Well, you can easily imagine that, before 200 years ago, we didn't have radio communication. So imagine if the universe were filled of radio communicating civilizations, we wouldn't even know it until we invented the radio. This ditto for any other technology you can think of.
But what if we did have communication with another intelligent life form? This has been the stuff of science fiction for the last century, and in most cases the plots portray a fear of the unknown, and war with the aliens ensues. Is this indicative of our likely behavior? Are all aliens to be feared? Or would we take a more intelligent, scientific approach?
If there were conscious beings, then that would be such a threat to humanity, because we have this assumed ego that we are all there is. Anything that is unknown is a threat to our stable, fragile existence.
You know, and I think it would be vastly exciting to be able to try to understand life forms that were massively different to us. We've evolved in a very particular way, but other forms of life might have done something totally different, and that would be quite exciting if we could indeed wrap our minds around it.
It's actually very difficult to get your head around what the possible implications would be of discovering and communicating with some other sort of alien life form. I think that people would be incredibly excited, and it would change people's way of thinking about their lives and their role in the sort of the universe. While humans on Earth are kind of the top predator and we pretty much do what we like, whenever we like, and there are serious consequences arising from that. But nevertheless, you've got to think we wouldn't be the top predator necessarily when we just start discovering other intelligent life forms, and you know, it might turn out that things don't go entirely our way.
The discovery of life, intelligent life somewhere in our universe, our galaxy, would be at once the most terrifying thought and yet most satisfying and relieving discovery, simply because the burden of keeping this unique, wonderful phenomenon of life and all of its infinite variety and its possibilities is no longer ours alone to carry. An asteroid could come and wipe us out. The sun will one day eventually sterilize the Earth by expanding towards the end of its life. And right now, that burden is on us, and we're doing a terrible job of it. We are not very good custodians of this. But if there were aliens out there, and they were intelligent, and they were able to spread between the stars, then suddenly you would think, well, I guess it's not so bad that us humans are kind of dropping the ball on this, this idea of trying to sustain life as a very beautifully weird and unexpected consequence of basic laws of physics and chemistry, but with infinite possibility, where the laws of physics are essentially boring and restrictive.
From a scientific point of view, I would want to know what their science is, to see how theirs compares to ours. Do they describe electromagnetic radiation the same way we do? Do they know about the existence of electrons or whatever, you know? Is there something they're doing that we're not?
I personally think that we've already detected life elsewhere, and we just don't recognize it. And you do this by generalizing the definition of life. If you define life as a far from equilibrium dissipative structure, then you include fires and whirlpools and hurricanes as part of life. I think when we realize that, we will then consider we've already found life. But that's a little bit of a mind bend. That's more of a mind bend than most people are willing to entertain. And so they're much more happy with thinking that maybe dark matter is aliens and that they have big brains and they talk English.
What is life? This is a question that is surprisingly hard to answer. The definition of life has science divided, some going as far as suggesting the weather to be a form of life. What is the purpose of life, if there is one from an evolutionary point of view? Or is life purely a byproduct of random chemistry?
I think life is that, well, you're not dead, obviously. obviously, but I kind of think that life is that you're breathing, but I think that
I don't know, that's a difficult question. What is life?
I believe life is about being a servant to other people. So I believe that this life on earth is just like a mini reflection of what we're going to do in heaven for eternity.
I think the meaning of life is the journey that you make of that life that gives that life meaning.
Life matters because it's an adventure. For good or bad, there's always growth in life. And if we are infinite beings, we're infinitely growing and we're infinitely trying to have experiences that we benefit from.
What is life? Life is something that we define here on Earth. It's hard to define. As a matter of fact, if you go to the biology department and ask biologists, are viruses alive? You know, half of them will say yes, and half of them will say no, and another third will say, huh. So we're not quite sure whether viruses are alive. And I take that as a warning signal, a big red warning signal saying, do we really know what life is? Because if you think viruses are alive, then they outnumber all other life forms on this planet. And if you think they're not alive, well, then you're excluding the thing that outnumbers all other life forms.
When we think about life, we think about things that have properties that are kind of like us. So we're very good at detecting kind of middle-sized living things. We see elephants and we're pretty clear that they are kind of living things like us. And then we start to learn about things that are a little bit smaller. At some point, we discover there are kind of molecules and bacteria. And they're a little bit more difficult to get your head around because they're so small and they're really very different from us, but we manage it. But of course, there might be things that have lives just so radically dissimilar to us that it's hard for us to even recognize them as having lives.
I'm a scientist, so I think there was some type of molecular evolution which led to autocatalytic processes, which led to replication, which led to some type of, hey, I'm going to preserve myself, and then et cetera, Darwinian evolution. If you have that type of notion, then you have a way to at least hand-wavingly describe how non-life evolved and life emerged. Well, here's the thing. Where do you draw this boundary from non-life to life, and if this evolved naturalistically? Is there a boundary that we should put there and say, oh, this is life and this is non-life? I think the answer is no. It's a little like, you know, you have a mother and you hold your mother's hand and she holds her mother's hand, and Richard Dawkins pointed out that here's this train of mothers and going into the past. And if you go back 4 billion years, you're essentially having one bacteria hold another bacteria's hand, right? And so the question is, well, where in this chain do you cut it and say, here's a human being and here's a pre-human being? Therefore, you can't put a boundary and say everything on this side is life and everything this is non-life. That's a silly idea in the light of evolution. And I think we should get rid of it.
Now we realize that actually the fundamentals, reason, the point for a lot of what we see around us is simply for that animal or organism to have more offspring. That's actually it.
The meaning of life is self-replicating molecules. That's what life means. Life means molecules that manage to self-replicate and subject themselves to evolutionary processes. I suppose that's what life is. Life is an incredibly complicated chemical reaction, and the fact that you and I have the experiences that we do and have the lives that we do is all a massive byproduct of that fundamental, simple thing. Chemistry that locally creates order at the expense of globally creating more disorder.
Our brains are a byproduct of an evolutionary pressure. In other words, to get smarter meant that you would have more babies, so there were more smarter babies. That drive has led us to these wonderful, adaptable, inquiring minds that have now unlocked so many of the mysteries of our universe. That, to me, gives a point to one's life, to inquire, to understand, to explore. those give meaning, and our interactions with our friends and our family, those give meaning. That gives the point of life. The fact that from your genes perspective, they just want to replicate, they just want their particular set to go on, okay, that's maybe the underlying drive, and it certainly is when you're a basic organism like a bacteria. But as humans, we can do better, and we often do.
If you have an infinite number of rocky planet life forms, the problem is we don't know what that means. For example, no one can predict the direction of evolution. Or if you go back, rewind the tape of life on Earth, and let's say, hey, let's rewind the tape and let it play again. Would you get humans, or would you get any of the species that you see today? That's a big debate in biology. Stephen Jay Gould said, no way would you get anything remotely close to being a human. Another guy, Simon Conway Morris, says, oh yes, you get some kind of humanoid because there are valleys in this adaptation space where each species lives, and that would do it again and again and again.
Our bodies are made from billions of atoms, which are all billions of years old. So the saying we are made from stardust is literally true. At the deepest level, we are the universe in human form.
Ultimately, life emerged out of the universe. And so for me, before I go to bed most nights, I sit down, we have a hot tub, and I peer to the heavens. And I look up at the stars. I look at the Milky Way. I look at the galaxies that orbit our own. And I think of the dark spots between the stars where there are countless galaxies. And I realize just how rich the universe is and how we are one small planet around one pretty ordinary star in one reasonably ordinary galaxy in a vast sea. And the fact that we're able to go through and contemplate and realize our place and how all this order works is amazing. It is to me the great amazing story for humanity, and it intersects with, philosophy and art, just trying to come to terms with it. That's how humans are going to interact with that type of experience.
All right, there you go. That was fun. Yeah. Hello, Oofy. How you doing? What are you doing? Where were you at the and what? That was a good. Yeah, I thought that was a good documentary. Yeah. Hey, I figured out how to do it though. Esther, you still here?
Yeah,
Esther
I
was
couldn't
here.
do it for shit. I tried to stream it. I couldn't do it. Everybody kept saying it's the share button right up on the left, and Macs do not have that.
You couldn't
We'll
do it?
go into system preferences and do this and do that, and I did all that, and it's still no. Mm-mm.
Uh-oh. Ruthie was fixing broken equipment during MWAT. Well, you can have the music playing while you're fixing the equipment. All right. Well, that worked for me anyway. I figured it out. And what you do? All right. I don't know if you can see it on your system at all.
What kind of computer do you have?
I have an HP Windows computer.
The laptop?
Yeah. So, what I did was I went to the share button, and then I went to the share audio, but also in that screen there is a tab you click on that says Chrome tab. Okay. Now you have to have one already open, like YouTube or whatever. And so you have to have that one open already. And then you click on that, select it, and put share, and then it comes across the main screen. So if I did it again, I'll show you again what I'm talking about. Let me go.
It's not gonna matter because I have different buttons.
Even on the regular window for the StreamYard?
I don't have a regular computer. I have both Macs.
Right, but if you look at mine is on the bottom. Yours might be on the other location somewhere.
The StreamYard's on the bottom.
Okay, so you see where it has the microphone and camera settings, and then share.
Well, I have chat, but I got a phone. I don't have a laptop out here.
Okay, on the phone it might be a little bit more difficult.
I mean, I'm not trying to share nothing. I'm just saying it's hard
Yeah.
to find people that know what to do with the MacBook.
Yeah. But there's a share button, and then you can share the web page just like I just did. Now that was a free documentary, so nobody freak out, even though it said copyright, whatever. But anyway, I made sure everybody got noted on the credits, so everybody got their credit. All right, and I didn't cut that part off, but it did say free documentary in the heading, so it was royalty free, and I like to play those occasionally to get some information. So now, if you wanted to see your one, was that the one with the woman that we were talking about that I listened to about the 4 steps that you can try for the
There was
toxic record?
there was a blonde-headed lady that was older, but then the 4 steps was from just a website without. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
it's just readable. It was just a readable thing.
Well, now, if you want me to, I can share one that I watched, and I think I shared it with you. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. Did I turn that up? Yeah, I turned it up. Okay.
I really don't think anybody cares, Ron.
Okay. I'm the only one that cares. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to work on that tonight when I listen to that one for the negative energy clearing.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to set my mind for an hour so I don't go to sleep with it, 'cause that could really be crazy too. So, I'm going to try to do it for an hour and just listen to that and try to see what I can do. I think it helps already. Just a little bit of time. I listened to it for about 15 minutes today, so that was pretty interesting. And so, if anybody wants to do that, you go to the YouTube and look up the 417 megahertz, and you just listen to that with your headphones on. That's fine either way. Basically, it's just for you only. And just sit there and listen to it. And there's other frequencies you can check out. And Esther made the warning: be careful. Be careful with some of them because it could create an adverse effect on what you're thinking. And so, just be careful and figure out which ones are good for you and what you like. And each person is going to have a different outcome because of whatever you need to work on, you know. And so I think it's a good idea that we should all work together as a team and try to figure this out and see if we can't energize our ability to see better. Okay, anybody want to be with with this adventure? Check with Esther. She'll have some more information on it. But oh, now you're cutting out. Yep, epileptics must use caution. So yeah, if you have mental conditions that you
Yeah, if you start one up and it's sounding just not exactly right to you or whatever, close it. Go find another one.
yeah, there's plenty of them out there. and you'll get that sense of a not right situation when you
Yeah.
try to listen to it. And I do that with music as well. Almost any kind of music. Some music I can't listen to at all, and some I can tolerate, and some I've gotten used to it. And yeah, so we're doing good on that. Now let me see. I don't see Kimberly anywhere. And what is that noise?
It's cars going down the road.
Oh, really? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's weird. Because it sounds like it's in a distance or it's a video or something. All right. Well, that's good. No, I'm glad that we figured out. At least I figured out the share screen thing. Um, Maybe you can use the MacBook for a lot of things, but that's why I like the Windows PC because it's a little bit more flexible and user friendly, in my opinion. Not that I'm selling computers, but just suggesting. I never thought I would like the MacBook or an iPhone or anything like that, but for people to have them and swear by them, it's fine. I don't find anything wrong with them. I'm not used to using them. I
Yeah.
like my Samsung. I like my Microsoft Windows PC. you know, and gotten used to that and still have trouble with it because there's a lot of things that happen with that. And so I don't know. I never did like Apple products. I had a MacBook 4 at one point, and that was pretty cool, but it was old technology.
Well,
And
I
if you,
got hers when she got a new one, and now to
yeah,
transfer my stuff, it was just easier to get a Mac to transfer it to.
oh yeah, I understand that,
Yeah.
and that's
And
fine.
my phone has pictures. It syncs right up to the computer without even me telling it.
Yeah. Now, I would recommend, though, to make it easier for these different podcasts and things like that, I would suggest getting a Windows computer, even a, inexpensive, you can get one with a smaller hard drive. You don't have to have a big hard drive. You already got that on your Apple. So get something with that. Oh, there's Kimberly. Okay. Okay. Kimberly's here.
Hey, Kimberly.
Okay. She's talking to me on Facebook here. Okay, she can't be on tonight. Okay. Well, at least I didn't. I was thinking about where she was, and then she just messaged me. Okay. Okay, no problem. So my other guests couldn't be on either. They had something else come up. So anyway, and me showing a video about creation. That's pretty cool, though. That did work well, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah,
it worked
it
well.
looked good.
Yeah. And so, if there's anyone else out there in Facebook land that wants to be on the show, shoot me a message. We'll get you on.
I have a friend. I think he may come on next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And I just got a burning in
in
my
touch.
eye.
Yeah, he's like in touch with a channeler and stuff.
Okay,
The Akashic record. So
that's cool.
yeah.
So, you sent a message earlier about 10 things that might happen when your third eye opens. Run
Yeah,
through.
Ufi had posted that on the page.
Okay. Run through that. Well, if you cares about it, then there you go.
Yeah, she does. God, what did it say?
Art. Yeah, I would say my computer is magic if it's working at all.
I don't remember, Ron, what it said, but I read it.
It's on the messenger. You sent me the message on it,
Yeah.
and
If I leave StreamYard, though, right now I'm gonna get cut off.
oh, okay, because of the phone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see what it said on the message. Let me
Every
get
bit
it.
of it looked true. That's why I sent it to you.
Okay, hold on a second then. Let me get it. It's right there, actually. 10 strange things you experience if your third eye opens. All right. Oh, wait. Hold on, let's. I don't know if I can show this, though, because it might be copyrighted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This might not be a free thing, but let's see if it has it in the text version. That's a lot of text there. You can't read it. Too small. Okay. Yeah, that's too small to read. I can't see it clearly. Anyway, maybe Ufi can help us out with that. That's not going to work for me. Yeah, I can't really play that one because that's someone else's content, and then YouTube gets mad when we do that. And that's why I wanted to do the free, royalty-free one, because, well, you can share that, right?
Are you still sick?
I have allergies. Now, I wasn't sick before. But hey, you know what we could do?
What?
We could do card readings because we didn't get to do that yesterday. Oh, and then Ufi we just talked to the Akashic librarian.
And what did they say, Ufi?
What did I tell you? I don't know. All of a sudden, I got allergy problems tonight.
the cat. She got up in my lap.
Yeah, but I don't have a cat.
I know,
Except
but
for my.
I'm sending you the allergy
Oh, is that
vibes.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am allergic to cats. That's why I don't have one.
See?
They may use the index card index. They may use it. Index card catalog. Yeah, I remember that. I
Got
was
the Dewey
trained.
Decimals in.
Yeah. So what did you think about not to derail that topic we were just talking about, but what do you think about what the people were saying on that show? Like you know the one they all say, well, yeah, there's life out there, but will we ever know what it
I
is?
mean, to me, that's just like a stunt, just to like get people thinking about it.
Yeah.
So they come on the air and be like, "We found life," but then you find out it's like an
Oh.
amoeba or
Okay.
something.
Oofy wants a card.
Oh, let me go get my cards.
Okay. Let me get mine. Hold on. Can I get one last card? I want to come up. What's going on here? Man. All right, we're gonna do Oofy's reading first, since he requested it. Oofy, you want 1 or 3 cards? We can do 3 cards. We'll do 3 cards tonight. That's what we'll do. Three cards. All right, I had it right. That's what I figured. All right. Oh, look at that first one, Oofy. 7 of Cups. Oh, no, wait. Ace of Cups. I had that wrong. Ace of Cups. I looked at the picture wrong. Ace of Cups. All right, that's the first one. Second one. Eight of Cups. All right. And the third card. Ace of Wands. So there you go. That's that one. All right, so we can look these up. Since I don't have my helper to look them up. Now, where did it go? There it is. I passed it 3 times already. All right. Ace of Cups. New relationships, Sufi. What are you doing? You looking for someone else? All right. New relationships, compassion, and creativity. Now realize that. Oh, it says. Wait a minute. It says love, new relationships, compassion, and creativity. I missed that first word. Can't see with my eye. Okay. So anyway, there you go. Ace of Cups. That's a good card for you. Now I don't know that the love aspect is necessarily a intimate relationship. It could be just a relationship getting to know somebody new. Okay? Just so you understand that. Don't get freaked out with that. And these are only for entertainment and education only. So don't take it so serious. You can, but okay, now the Eight of Cups. If I got that right. I hope that's right. Yep, the Eight of Cups is not very good. Okay, disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and escapism. So the first one was good. All right, kind of a new beginning type of thing. Then the second one is your present time. You're dealing with some personal issues you're trying to figure out and settle in your mind. All right, don't overthink. I would recommend not to overthink things, but think about what's going on, but don't overthink. All right, does that make sense? Hope it does. All right, then we have the Ace of Wands. This is a little better. This is in the future, if you will. The past, present, and future, if you want to do 3 cards that way. We're looking at inspiration, power, creation, beginnings, and potential. So the third card kind of levels out that middle card, which wasn't the best one. Esther, are you still here?
Yep,
Okay, you got an oracle card for
I sure do.
Oofy?
I have play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. And I have soul healing, align with your essence and see your true colors.
Now, isn't that what I just got done saying?
Yep.
In so many words. and we didn't work this out beforehand, folks. This is cold.
Nope.
Hey, what's going on, Bigfoot Silver? Hide Seeker. All right. Hide and Seeker. Oh, okay. What the heck are we doing? We're if you want a card reading, we got a card reading for you. If you just witnessed me reading Oofy's card or cards, they are right on point with the oracle cards that Esther picked. And so that was pretty darn incredible to have that almost right on. I think I'm getting better at this. Is Bobby still here? Bobby, are you here? Genghis Khan still here? Where are you at? I don't think they're all here. I think they all left. Okay, yep, you're okay, Bigfoot, no problem. We're gonna have fun with it though. So I do it for entertainment and education purposes only. So don't take any offense to it. Just enjoy what the readings are. Would you like a reading, Bobby? Bobby is here. Get his cards ready.
Hey, Bobby.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do his 3 cards.
I'm gonna shuffle.
I'm guessing he wanted the cards. He spoke up and said he was here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eight of Wands. Now we just had that one for Oofy. Or no, we had the wait, was it? I don't know. I'm confused. No, I think Bobby had this one before. No, wait, no, he didn't have the Empress. He had the Queen of. But this is the Empress, which is good. I think that's a good one. All right. You had the Ace of Wands. All right, thank you. And then what else? The Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is what you had. There you go. And the Emperor, you got two major arcana cards. So that's interesting in itself. So let me look these up for you, just so we know. All right, so hang tight with me here for a minute, and I'll look that up. I'm using Biddy Tarot for my meanings of these cards. All right. Okay, Wands. We're in the Wands. Eight of Wands. All right, Eight of Wands. Speed, action, air travel, movement, swift change. You going somewhere, Bobby? Where are you going? Or you already did go somewhere, because you did move. So this is the past, actually. So you actually did move recently. So that could be what that's talking about. All right. And then you have the Empress. Okay. Okay. Gotta go further down there. Okay, there we go. Now, where is that at? Now, I always get that mixed up on this list here. Okay, it's not there, not there, not there. Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 minute. I had it too. Okay. There we go. All right. Oh, femininity, beauty, nature, nurturing, abundance. Now remember, not all that applies to you necessarily, Bobby. It could just apply to some one, like abundance, for instance. That could be. You're very caring, nurturing could be caring. Okay, so that could be you. So there you go. Nature, you like nature. There you go. So you take the ones that apply to you, not the feminine side, but it could mean something about the feminine side, but I'm not really sure what that would mean for for getting that for a man. But anyway, then we go to the Emperor, which is just right after that one. Okay, now this is a good one. Now see, that balances out that second card, Bobby, this third one. Authority, establishment, structure, a father figure. There you go. You don't have to have children to be a father figure. Okay. So there you go. So those are pretty good. The second one is a little weird, but well, it works. Balances out. All right. So it just means that you're well connected with your surroundings. The first one dealt with when you actually moved, I think, to your current place. So there you go. What do you got, Esther?
Okay, I got Anna, grandmother of Jesus, and it says seeding the light, laying foundations, and a divine plan.
Wow.
And I also have number 17, go with the flow, relax and trust, and accept what is happening.
I like that. That works. Both of them work with what I said.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, now, do you want? Oh, go ahead.
I just said it's the magic.
Yeah. And then I think we're getting a little bit better connected with what we're working on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With what we're with the exercises that we're doing on the meditation stuff. I think that's helping
Mm-hmm.
us get more connected and more in tune, so to speak. I'm going to do your cards if you want, if that's okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right. I don't see Genghis and your Bigfoot said he don't want one. He knows his answers already. And that's okay. Not everyone is accepting. Ooh, look at that now. And we had this one before for you, I think. Temperance. Which we already know that means patience and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So you're in good balance, you're in control of your everything you're doing. That makes a lot of sense. But you're going somewhere. Look at that. The Knight of Swords. You're charging
Where am
into some Knight of Swords.
Where am I going?
I'm not really sure. You're going somewhere. That's in the present time. This is the second card, present. So the Temperance was before in the past, which that could also relate to current time at any time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be the whole part of the whole reading. So not just a past, but because of how we got it laid out, past, present, future, and we're labeling it as the past. And then the Nine of Wands. Okay, so we can look up the Nine of Wands. Now we know, okay, the sword, the Knight of Swords. Oh, I almost lost my cards. That would have been bad. Okay, so Temperance we already know, it means patience, but we'll still look it up. We're already there on that section. So Temperance. Okay. There we go. Okay, again, I said balance, moderation, patience, and purpose. Yeah, I had it right. I'm learning the card. Holy cow. That's amazing. And then the second one was the Knight of Swords, right? Knight of Swords. There you go. All right. Ambitious action, oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking. Well, I think that's all of you. And then Wands, the Nine of Wands. Courage, persistence, test of faith, resistance. Oh, now look at that. That's just what you're working on. Right?
Yeah.
So, heck, that's pretty darn good. I got it right on, I think.
Read it again.
Okay. This is the Nine of Wands.
Uh-huh.
All right. Courage, persistence, test of faith, and resilience.
Okay.
All right. So I got that pretty darn good there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got all three of your cards right on.
Okay, mine says birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being, and cosmic sapphire, act with honor and integrity and speak your truth.
Huh. Dreaming the existence into being. Now, I just saw someone on a video talk about that. Or I saw a post on Facebook maybe talking about you need to dream your existence or
Yeah,
something.
that's what Reverend Carter, I mean, that's what he's all about is, visualize what your life you want it to
Yeah.
be and then it happens.
That's pretty darn cool. All right, so
Mhm.
I'll do one for me. I'll do a 3-card set for me.
I want to get
Okay.
him back in about 2 weeks. We'll wrap up the
Well, he was going to go to that conference, right, in Michigan.
September. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. 7 of Wands. This is in the past. Present. Six of Cups. I can't remember if that's good or bad. I'll have to look that one up. Oh, that's a good one. Don't mind the naked picture on the card. The world, though. Okay. All right, so. All right, 7 of Wands, right?
Uh-huh.
A good thing it's already in Wands. That makes it easier. Okay, 7 of Wands. There we go. Challenge, competition, perseverance. This is in the past. Now, I think I went past that part of the challenge part. Not saying I won't have any now, but in the past, I did have some challenges with this particular job, with the radio job and stuff. But now I think we're past that. But perseverance is what we're looking at now for current time. Okay. And this next one is cups, right? Okay. So cups. And then that was 6 of Cups, I think it said. Okay, revisiting the past, childhood memories, innocence, and joy. Which, I'm 61 years old, so I'm pretty much going to be remembering what happened, What later part of my life, I'm going to be thinking about that. Okay, the world is next. If that makes any sense there. And then the world is completion, integration, which is what I do all the time with, creating shows and bringing people on to help us out, accomplishment, and travel. Well, which I'm going to be traveling, that's for sure. All right, well, that's it for that. So, what do you got for me on the Oracle?
Okay, I got answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And I also have number 2, pure intention. Find clarity and surrender your ego.
Which is what I'm working on, right?
Mhm.
So I think we got pretty good readings here. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Now what? Well, I think we're getting pretty good at this. So,
It's pretty fun.
yeah. And it gives us a little insight as to what we need to know for the moment,
Yeah, and when you get a card and you think about it, it's like, well, damn, that
Yeah.
sounds true.
How important is visualization to understand? I think it's very important. When you have a dream, you need to understand what you're dreaming. But can you take a minute and talk about stuff for a minute?
Yeah.
And then I gotta take a break.
Take a break.
I'll be right back though. I'm gonna go ahead and
What do you
turn
want me to talk about?
whatever you want. You can talk about, if you can look up those 10 things that happen when you open your eye, third eye.
I'm afraid to leave. If I leave, it's going to kick me
Oh, yeah,
out.
okay. Dang it. Maybe if Oofy can look it up and you can read it off chat. Oofy, can you look that up and put it in chat, and then Esther can read it right from the chat. And then you can make it big on the screen so you can see it. All right? That'd be cool. I'm going to stop this here for a minute. I'll stop my camera and mic for now, and I'll be right back.
Okay. What if your tarot and other oracle cards only made sounds? That would be strange. But, you know, I guess we would adapt to it. We can adapt to stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about looking up the 10 things when your third eye started to open. He's talking about that post you put on the page. Goofy. If they only made sounds, how would you interpret them? I would have to go by probably years of conditioning of hearing certain sounds and seeing facial expressions as to what matches what. I don't know. That's the only thing I would know to go by. So, Oofy, did you open your third eye? Bigfoot, silver, hide and seeker. Oh, you you blink in your third eye. Is it all you thought it would be? And more? Okay, if I leave this side, it's going to shut me out, so I can't do that. Tell me about when you said you got your third eye open. What did you see or think or feel, or what happened? Don't do that. Well, when our third eye opened, it was the beginning of a lot of very strange events and misunderstandings. And when did that happen, Miss Ufi? Was that like lately with us, or was that like something you've done before, or? shortly after hatching. Seems like you wouldn't have recognized a lot of strange things if you had just hatched. Like you wouldn't have anything to compare it to. But I guess that could be. It's crazy. Those awakening tones and stuff. It is crazy. And it's all true. Every bit of it's true. So we were participating in a fish school class and had our third eye open during an exam. We thought we were doing really great with the answers, but we were so enlightened that we got one of the questions wrong, gave the enlightened answer, which was not the expected one. Yeah, there's some people who like to live in reality. I don't know why. You gotta be able to like cut flips. You gotta like be able to, match people on the frequency they're at. I mean, like, if you can. Sometimes they're really, really low, but sometimes they're really, really high too. So, and then you had another event, out of body flying experience, a past death. Wow. Found ourselves inside a grave. That's scary. You trapped, can't breathe. How did you, okay, looking up, saw the grass and flowers and weed above us. How did you, die in your past death, if you know? Then our essence floated up through a flower and became light. Yeah, I could see that. How did that death occur? Due to natural causes. So I guess depending on the year it was, you were either in your 60s or your 80s. Floated up into the light, then snapped back into
There we
our
go.
body.
I
Ron, you're
thought
on mute again.
I thought I had my mic on when I was trying to talk to you.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
We got it now, Bobby. Thank you.
That's interesting, Oofy.
Oh, wow. Oh, 1800s. Oh.
You know, it's hard for me because like I showed up and like I don't know anybody else's stories hardly because I always just kept to myself and my group. So
Yeah. Well, don't be afraid to
yeah,
talk about your story here.
sometimes I'm like, what happened to you? You know, tell me your story, and they'll be like, well, I've done told it 100 times or whatever.
Well, not everyone remembers everything.
Yeah.
And then you talk to a lot of people, so that makes sense.
No, that's what people tell me is they've told their story 100 times. So I don't know
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
anybody's story.
Well, remember I was telling you mine on chat. You know,
Yeah.
sharing my character. If he knows about it, if he knows about my character.
I know
And
some of you oofies now.
a Revolutionary War veteran. Ooh. Yeah, well, I was alive then, but in a different situation. I didn't have to worry about fighting necessarily, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I did have to witness things happening like that. Well, who wants to hear my character story, my thought, and what I remember, what I believe I remember? Which I'd like to get a regression session actually.
I do.
And find out. And I know a few people that can do it, and they're certified. So I might have to check about that. And it might be kind of scary at first, you know. And but usually, what they say, from what I witnessed on some sessions that people had, if they ever have to come out of it, they have free will to step out and get away from it, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's something that's really terrifying, they can't figure out, then you don't have to sit through it and try to face it. We're not trying to, I don't think anyone's trying to do that. But the idea of regression therapy is to, or regression session, whatever, is to evaluate, you know, what you're about, you know, what made you, you know. And if you have past lives, then that's a good, clear way to figure it out. And some of us know that we have had past lives. And getting into my story, because Oofy's requesting it now.
I only think I think I only have one past life.
Well, see, I don't look at the past lives that I've had or my start time and then regeneration time. I don't look at it as reincarnation, because my soul, my spirit, my soul energy is the same. Okay. I just moved to the next decade or century. Okay. So, like, for instance, in my situation, what I actually believe I remember, whether or not my imagination or whatever, but everyone's going to hear this, is going to be listening to this and watch it later. But in my situation, my name, and I've used this name on my Facebook, one of my Facebook pages, called Nikolai Janus. Nicoli, Nikolai Janus. Janus is like for January, right? Facing both directions. Okay. Now, I believe I'm from the future, but I was also from the past. And that's really what I believe. Now, you can call me crazy. You can think that I'm psychotic or whatever, delusional, whatever you want. That's fine. I don't care.
They can call us what they want to.
Everyone wants to have their own opinion, and they might not ever want to hear me again. But anyway, they're going to hear it tonight. So, what happened was, I wound up on the shores of someplace north of the United States, on the northern constellation, northern continent, rather, like Greenland maybe or something, someplace like that. I don't know. And it was, I believe, around 850 AD. I'm not sure why I have that number in my head, but that's what comes out in my head. And I was on a ship then. Somehow I landed on shore. I survived during that rough time with nothing, nothing there to really help you survive, 850 AD, I would imagine. And say, like, Greenland or someplace like that, whatever, you wouldn't have a whole lot to live on,
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I survived somehow. Maybe the aliens were feeding me or whatever, I don't know. But I survived. And I lived through that lifetime, and then I died. But I didn't die. I came awake again a few years later, literally. Okay, so you think about 850 AD. If the normal lifespan is, say, 35 years,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And that's if you were lucky to survive that long with everything going on. And so if you survive your lifespan, which is 35 years old, then you die. And then you come back. So 850 to 35, that would be 885. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then another 35 years, 920. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? And then I just come back each time someplace on the planet, and I'm doing the similar jobs. When I landed on the shore, I was on a ship. All right, not sure what kind, where from, or whatever, but I was on a ship, and I had a job on the ship. I was an officer. I believe I was a navigator, a quartermaster, which surprisingly, my tour in the U.S. Navy here in this lifetime, what was I? Oh, I was a quartermaster. That's right.
Quartermaster.
Yeah, navigation, right? Not supply. And so navigation. Now we did handle the ship supply and stuff like that, but our main job was navigation. And we always told a joke like this: we're the only ones who can tell the captain where to go. Yeah. He didn't quite like that though. He didn't
Yeah,
laugh at.
like go to hell.
Yeah, he didn't laugh at that joke at all. We still kind of laughed. We chuckled at it. Our chief kind of looked at us kind of mean, but we were laughing. And so, but we had full control of the direction of the ship. We can, put in the ship's, dead reckoning track, what they call a Errt, dead reckoning track, and you draw a line basically on the chart and estimate, which way it's going to go. So you had to know a lot of things to do that. You had to know how to hold the pencil. You had to know how to use a protractor, on the chart. And you did have to know your directions, of course. But I got to use a sextant. You know what a sextant is?
Mm-hmm.
You can navigate with the stars.
Yeah.
And that is interesting, although I wasn't very smart. So I didn't quite grab a hold of that one, but I did understand the process. And so you'd look at a named star, you knew what the name was, and then you'd get the angle on the section at the degrees of where it's at in the sky and everything like that. Then you'd be able to find out where that lands on the chart. And then you can actually put your ship's position on the chart looking at the night sky. Now, that's pretty damn cool.
That's cool.
Okay, Oofy says, I'll go back to my story after this. Oofy says, the third eye opens and you are staring into a sunset sitting on Native American campsite. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. So anyway, back to my story now. I went through the centuries of time. I remember one of my most recent times that I remember is in the 1930s. All right. I was in the military at some point. I retired from the military, and then I went into detective work or law enforcement. And I was chasing bad guys again, right? Now, originally, the idea that I remember is that from the future, I was chasing some bad guys as a security, they were a security risk, and I was trying to track them down.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then they can merge. Oh, wait. Then you are open to essence of those that lived back then. Oh, yeah. They can merge with your physical and mental self and never completely go away. That's what
Ugh.
I'm understanding, Goofy, exactly.
Hitchhikers.
So, but I was on the ship in the future. I was both a navigator and also a security agent or whatever, right?
Right.
And so, anyway, somehow I wind up in the past in 850 AD. Maybe I went through wormhole and I wound up in the wrong place. I don't know. But I wound up on planet Earth somehow. And I don't die. I'm like the Highlander, if you remember the story of the Highlander. They don't die unless they get their head cut off, right? And if you remember Sean Connery in the Highlander. And anyway, I'm going through the centuries. I remember the 1930s or so, I was a detective chasing bad guys. And I got word that the person or the people I was chasing was in my time frame. So
Okay.
I was following them, and then I die.
And how many of them were they?
Excuse me. What now?
How many of them were they?
There was a group of them. I was probably chasing maybe 2 or 3 at once. So, I had a special protocol, so to speak, to send them back to where they had to be, the right time frame. And then they could face judgment. But I never did really catch up to them, So anyway, they're still out there somewhere roaming
Oh,
the
shit.
universe. And anyway, in the then I died again somewhere around the 40s or 50s or whatever. But again, my current time frame, I came back in 1961.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, as you know, lifetime gets longer, your lifespan gets longer, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look back in the 1800s, they only lived to 35 or so. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Right around there, because, well, obviously medical wasn't that great. The food probably wasn't that great. And just the hardships of life in general was difficult. So it's amazing that we're even here today. But the point of the matter is that in a few years, 20 maybe 25, maybe 30, I'm going to be gone again and go on to the next segment of that story. Okay? I can only hope that it's something that I enjoy doing, like navigation, for instance, exploring, which that one card, the world, mentioned about me exploring, right?
Right.
So that means that in the past I was exploring, in the future I'll be exploring as well. I believe that we're predestined, and that's a bad word to some people. I believe that we're predestined to do certain jobs in our lifetime. Okay? We're good at what we do when we find it, and we continue to work on it and refine our ability of whatever we're doing. Okay? So now I'm too old to be in the military, and navigation ain't really my thing at this point. And I don't want to be on no ship, that's for sure.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
just got one more thing I'm tied with, so.
but in my situation though is sharing the stories that we share, sharing the fun shows that we have, sharing the information that we have, and creating the awareness. Yeah, and the same goes for the he said the sign. Okay, they merge, and they don't completely go away. And the same goes for the other life on other worlds. All right, I think that's what she's saying. Some quartz crystals, so it seems, can capture one's life essence and certain life experiences for future sensitives. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep mine and hand it down. I don't know if it'll carry my energy or not, but
Well, hopefully it might.
I'll hand it down. I don't know. I mean, people around here, we are backwoods around here. People don't, I mean, nobody does crystals and stuff around here.
Oh, well, they should. So, if you want to learn about crystals, you need to learn about them and understand that they're positive. Well, I guess it could be negative, but who would want that? So, and that the thing is that we're very connected to this planet. All right. For whatever reason, we are all here on this planet, and we've been here on this planet. Now, I think, believe it or not, my mom and dad are gone. And I have to wonder, are they going to come back as another person? Not saying, I'm not saying reincarnation. I don't mean that. Don't get that mistaken for that thought process, being reincarnated. I'm not saying that. Because the reason why it's not reincarnation is that the same soul energy is still alive. It never changed. Okay? It just went to a different place for a little bit, then it's going to come back. Right?
Well, it happened in the Bible.
Yeah. Where did it happen in the Bible?
The reincarnations,
Yeah.
I'll get them together and send it to you.
Okay. Our earliest time travel experience was with a French quartz crystal, a cave, and a woman.
I know Elijah came back as John the Baptist.
Okay, that's what people anticipated.
That's one of them. Yeah.
But it hasn't been clearly.
It's pretty much wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
I'm just saying that what the theologians would say. Oh, well, you can't prove that either way.
Listen to them no more.
Again, not everyone's going to agree with what we're talking about here. And they're not going to agree with what I'm talking about with my character. But when I remember things about certain time frames when I shouldn't be there, but yet I remember them. Okay? Explain how I remember something or even know about anything. Okay? So, yeah, just kind of explain that if you can. How do we know about something if we've never been there? And how do I know about navigation? Why did I choose that job in the Navy? Well, I had a choice. I could have been flight deck. I could have been on a submarine and go to the submarine and nuclear training, and I said, no way. I wasn't going to be underwater for 6 months, And so I decided to go to surface ship and kind of do an interesting job, and probably one of the easiest ones, which was navigation. Still get my 4 years in and get my guaranteed contract that I signed and get that done. And I did. I got my honorable discharge and got out. Actually, they didn't give me an honorable discharge at first, but they changed it afterwards when I complained about it. And this was many years later. I checked with the review board, and they said, "Oh, well, your evaluation should have been an honorable discharge already." And so that's how I got screwed out of an honorable discharge in the first place, right? So the military will play some games with people. That's unbelievable. I mean, I passed the E4 exam, which is the third class petty officer, and they didn't advance me because we didn't have room on my ship for an E4 in my division. And it was like, well, why did I take the test then? You know?
You know what? I signed up and I went and took the test to get in the Navy. In the morning, I was supposed to go legally sign down in Columbia, the
Yeah.
capital.
Yeah.
I didn't go. My mama had been in my room all night, like crying and begging me not to do it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was going to be on a Tinder. I was going to be an RN on a Tinder.
And what time was that?
That was in 93.
Oh, okay, yeah. That would have been Iraq?
It ended up being Desert Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so maybe it's good that you didn't go, because you might have been in a whole different situation.
I don't think there's anything I would go back and change because that's why I am who I am, is because of
Yeah.
everything I've been through.
And then I am who I am for my choices, what I made.
That's right. Everybody is.
And not
you know.
even just this life. I'm talking about every time. Okay.
It makes people who they are.
Yeah.
Their
And
experience.
remember that phrase now. Everybody, please write down this phrase and remember it. And everyone talks about the paranormal. They look for ghosts and everything like that. Ghosts are supposed to be, most likely a human spirit that just hasn't moved on, right? That's what they're thinking. It's not necessarily a demon. It can be, but not necessarily. It is most likely a leftover part of the human, or maybe it is part of the human itself. I don't know. But I know people have remote viewed my house, and they said they saw my mom here. That's kind of weird, because she's been gone since 2012. But anyway,
That's the way us mamas are. We check
yeah, I
on our
know.
babies.
Exactly, and that's what the one guy was telling me. He said, "No, she just makes sure you're okay and that you're doing all right," which I am, thankfully. And yeah, so she's just checking on me, and I know Dad will be too, or maybe he has been, and he's just been a little bit quieter about it. Except whenever I see the light flash, I think that it's my dad because he used to be an electrician. So it kind of makes me wonder. But yeah, I think I think that our soul energy is eternal, what I call eternal existence. Okay. And what I'm getting at here is this: is when just make it. Hey, Papa Tom, how you doing?
Hey, Bob Tom.
All right. And so what I'm getting at is this: when and to keep it simple, I'll just say when God created the universe. I'm gonna say He. Don't get mad at me. I'm gonna say He. When God created the universe, He created the whole universe, and He made angels. All right. Now, when did He make the human souls? That's what I want to know. Did He make the human souls just after the angels, or right at the same time as the angels? And then when he created Adam, get back to the creation story in Genesis. When you look at that story in Genesis, he created Adam out of the, according to the story, okay, he created Adam out of the dirt. And then he breathed the breath of life into Adam, and he became a living soul. And he was known as Adam, and he called himself Adam. Now, where did God, besides being the creator of everything, where did God get Adam's soul? That's my question.
He created it.
Right. But when? That's
I don't
the
know, but
question.
Papa Tom done said I'm a flirt, and I don't know what that means.
What now?
Papa Tom said, "Hi, Esther, you dish just a flirt."
He's just kidding around.
When he created Adam, he made him in his own image. And it says he took, did it say the clay of the earth?
Now, look what Ufi questioned here.
And created him in his own image?
Yeah. Well, in his own image isn't just a physical form. It's more or less in the spiritual form. It is his own image. Okay, you know what I mean? So in the sense of who we are, body, mind, and spirit.
Okay, Tom. Yeah.
So in the Godhead you have the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. If you understand the Trinity as well as we can possibly understand it, you have the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So in the human form, we have the body, mind, or body, heart, and soul. Okay. I don't know how to explain that any different. But anyway.
Well, I heard this man talk about all of that had to come into existence at once.
Okay, what now? We all came into what?
No, everything, time and everything had to all come into existence at once.
Oh, wow.
I have a video. I can send it to you, and you can.
Okay, yeah.
You can share screen.
Okay.
It was a some kind of
share screen now. I don't know if I can do that with someone
time
else.
space continuum.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
if you created Earth, a place, and didn't create time, when would you put it there? And if you had time without a place, where would you have time? It's like a
See now,
it's the
according
Trinity
to
of Trinities is what he
yeah,
says.
now according to the understanding of who God is, He's outside of time and space.
Right. That's
Okay,
what he
that's what
says.
makes him. That's what makes him God.
But he's
But
talking
yet,
about when he brought everything into existence.
right, He was still outside of the
Right.
universe when He created it, because that's how He
Yeah,
can create it.
that's
But yet
what he said.
he's also in it though at the same time. What the little phrase that they use called omniscient. Okay, all knowing, everywhere at once, all that. Now, whether or not you believe it, that I don't really care. We're not going to argue about that. I'm just giving you the word that they use. Okay, and I believe the Bible says it. Okay, omniscient, and it just means all knowing and existing everywhere at once. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's one thing that the Lucifer character or Satan, he doesn't have that ability. He can only exist on one plane at a time. Okay. So when he went to ask God's permission to tempt Job, or to test Job rather, if you remember that story.
I
And
thought that everything God had, that the devil had a counterfeit for it.
he could probably make one for sure. And so Anyway, in my expectation, in my suspicion, rather, maybe that's a better word. In my suspicion, we were all created, our energies. I was Ron up there, waiting to be human. Okay?
Yeah.
So in 1961, that came about. I became human. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where did my mom get my spirit from? Just from making relations with my dad. Okay, where did my mom get my spirit from?
She didn't. She just created the physical. They created
Right.
the
So
physical
then
body.
where did my spirit come from?
It came from heaven.
From God, right? From where I
It was
was sitting,
summoned. I mean, it was
where
it was
I was,
summoned.
right, where I was sitting at all that time before I became human, however long that was. Okay. So what I'm getting at with the several lifetimes that anyone could claim to have, which more people are saying they have, right? More
Yeah.
people are waking up and thinking, oh, yeah, I've had another life or whatever. Why did I think of that? Why do I know this? Or how do I know how to make this thing or whatever, or
Yeah.
even how do I know how to use something, right? The point is that our information is leaking out and transferring to the next level, our next life. All right? Does that make sense? So, see, there you go. Life is more than the human mind in its current state. Can't imagine or comprehend. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Video docu said as much, didn't it? Yeah, it did. That's true. Yeah. So just know that we're only limited to our physical self at this moment. But it doesn't mean that we're going to be limited when we transfer to the next level. Okay? We're still going to be a human spirit or a human energy, human soul energy. Okay? I will still be Ron up there. Good night, Papa Tom. Thank you for dropping by. Sleep well. We didn't get any rain that they promised either. They kept promising it was going to rain. All it did was windy, which I guess I'm glad it didn't rain. My ceiling didn't leak today, so that was a good thing. So, but anyway, so our soul energy is going to be forever somewhere. Now, some say there's only two choices, heaven or hell. Okay. Okay, that's one you wanted to share. Okay, the video. Okay, on which one is that?
It's a man talking about where did God come from. It's the Trinity of Trinities.
Oh,
That
where
it all
did God?
came into existence at once. It's about a 3-minute clip.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, let me see if I can get it to go.
I want you to fill in the story of the rest of the beginning of the universe. I want you to fill in the story of
Okay, hold
the
on.
rest of the.
Hold on. Stop. Okay. Now let me go ahead and get that set up. Hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on.
Holding on.
Okay, hold on. This is going to be fun. Let's get back and do this now. Okay, so we got that. We go share screen. We go share screen. We go share audio, system audio. And then go to Chrome tab. and then go here. There we go. I got it. Look at that. Holy crap. I got it, Esther. Look at that. Now I'll make it big for that, and then I'll make the one on StreamYard big, so it'll take up the whole screen, and you won't see us. Okay? Oh no, wait, you'll see us, but I can change that. Hold on. Let me change that, and then I want to change it to that one. There we go. Look at that. All right, you ready? I gotta mute my mic, mute our mic, so. Okay, mute them.
I want you to fill in the story of the rest of the beginning of the universe. God, spiritual matter, impact on material matter.
Okay, so 2 questions. All right. Go ahead. All right, your question, where did God come from, assumes that you're thinking of the wrong, obviously it displays that you're thinking of the wrong God, because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God. Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same instant, because if there were matter but no space, where would you put it? If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously. The Bible answers that in 10 words. In the beginning, there's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. So you have time, space, matter, created a trinity of trinities there. Just, time is past, present, future. Space has length, width, height. Matter has solid, liquid, gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously, and the God who created them has to be outside of them. If he's limited by time, he's not God. The guy who created this computer is not in the computer. He's not running around in there changing the numbers on the screen, okay? The God who created this universe is outside of the universe. He's above it, beyond it, in it, through it. He's unaffected by it. So the concept that a spiritual force cannot have any effect on a material body, well then I guess you'd have to explain to me things like emotions and love and hatred and envy and jealousy and rationality. I mean, if your brain is just a random collection of chemicals that formed by chance over billions of years, how on earth can you trust your own reasoning processes and the thoughts that you think? Okay, so your question, where did God come from, is assuming a limited God. And that's your problem. The God that I worship is not limited by time, space, or matter. If I could fit the infinite God in my 3-pound brain, he would not be worth worshiping, that's for certain. So that's the God that I worship. Thank you.
Well, that was fun. There you go. Come on back. All right. Yeah, isn't that what I was just saying? Okay, how can you trust your own thinking, senses, and thinking process? The short answer is you can't. Esther, you awake? Hello? Hello? Oh. Oh, for some reason you were off screen. That was weird.
Yeah, I had to run out and get something and bring it back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I had to leave the site for a minute and come back.
How can you trust your own senses and thinking process?
You can't.
That's right. But yet he was saying just what I said, right? I said God is outside of time and space, and He's outside of the universe making it.
That's what I was telling you. He agreed with that.
Okay, so there you go. So we're on the same page then. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever understand that. Maybe when we get there, we will. You know,
Well, I mean, what do we need to understand it for? We don't need to understand it.
everyone wants to know where they're from, right?
Eh,
You don't. Are you content with what you know now for yourself?
yeah, I am.
There you go. That's a good answer.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm content.
Okay. And I suppose I am too, but just just realizing the fact that there's more to this moment in time, okay, than what we anticipate. So, of course, then there is that one verse in the Bible. I think Jesus is saying it. Says something like this: that don't worry about tomorrow because it ain't here yet, right? And it'll take care of itself, right? And don't worry about, or wait, don't worry about yesterday because it's already gone. And don't worry about today because it'll take care of itself. Yeah, because tomorrow ain't here yet, and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Okay. So, I might have that wrong quote, but anyway, the teaching is there.
Yeah, I mean, everything. You can look at it 2 or 3 different kind of ways.
Yeah, and there is a very great difference between believing and thinking. Yeah, that's true. Okay, his argument is using selective information. That's true. To help him prove his point. That's all one sentence there. Wait, his argument is using selective information to help him prove his point. And lawyers have a word for that kind of argument. Okay. What is that word?
What is it? Persuasive?
Uh, I don't know what word that is, Oopie. So, anyway, well, we're about 2.5 hours. We did pretty good for not having a show. Thank you for helping.
You had a movie going and all kind of stuff. You had a show.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that. We need to find more of that royalty-free stuff, and then we don't have to worry about them yelling at us.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
tons of it.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's a lot of fun to be able to just watch a movie like that and share something like that somebody might be interested in. And we don't have to understand all of it. We don't have to believe it, but it's fun to, watch it and try to understand what they're getting at. But even the greatest minds on the subject, they don't have the answers.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's because of our limitation as a human. Okay. So they're reaching out, they're asking questions for answers, and there's just really nothing that we can come up with for a solid answer. So, like they kept saying over and over, is there life out there? They think so, but where is it? Who knows? How far away is it? Who knows? Can we ever communicate with them? Who knows that? There's really no answers with that. We're hopeful that perhaps we'll have communication with them at some point.
I think it's going to be in my lifetime. long as that holds out a little while.
Oh, okay, Oofy. Yeah. Now I'm gonna try.
I could see them announcing it like 10 years from now, if that long.
About the UFOs and aliens and everything.
Yeah, yeah, about them existing.
Well, they already kind of agreed that they do. I mean, they have government programs that they're researching it with, you know.
Yeah, but to come out and say, well, here's some what Andromedans or Arcturians or
Which would be the worst one? Andromedans be kind of mean.
hell, I don't know, probably the reptilians.
Oh yeah. So now, if you ran into one at the grocery store, what would you do?
What would I do?
Would you go up and say hello and try to figure out who they are, or would you?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Would you stand back and look at them?
I mean, they know who I am, so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I might as well speak to them.
In this current time frame, what would you say? Yeah, see, the Bible told about UFOs, nobody cared. That's right. Oh, that's because of it didn't go along with the message of what the Bible was saying. So, even though it's dealing with life out there, it still didn't go along with the main narrative, which is we're supposed to be trusting in the Creator and not anyone else. So, but now here's a question now. If one landed in your front yard or in your parking lot or whatever, wherever you were, if someone landed where you were and they asked you to come along for a ride, would you go for a ride? Uh-oh. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, so this is for anyone that can answer this question. If a UFO landed in your right where you are, and the being came out of the craft and they asked you to get on and go for a ride, would you? Knowing that you might not come back.
It would depend on how I felt about the situation at the time.
Yeah.
I probably would.
Oofy says if they have pizza. What about
I mean,
toast?
if some 12-foot tall somethings came walking out, and I mean, I don't know. It depends.
Oh yeah, and then if you see him at the Oofy says if you see him at the grocery store, see what they use for money.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would go with them just to see what they would say and
Yeah.
who they are, and
I mean, you figure if they're trying to contact you and they were nice about it, they didn't just abduct you. They actually introduced themselves and said, "Hey, we're from so and so place, and how would you like to go and be there?" And the time that takes to travel there ain't like what you think. You know, you can be like 30 minutes. You can be there and back, right?
yeah.
So now the problem we have with that is that we have the time. What is that? Time dilation? I said that word. Time dilation is a real phrase.
Yeah.
And so, in other words, you'd go out, like traveling at the normal speeds that we can accomplish today. Getting to Jupiter, it would take what, 10 years, right? Something like that.
Nah, I think they
So
got better stuff than that, but
by the time you got back to Earth on a round trip, you'd be 20 years older, obviously, right? So even if you survived that trip to Jupiter would be incredible. Humans would have to repress their fear first, then curiosity might kick in. Some would go, certainly. Yep, you are right.
Or if you was somebody who's had like visions of something like that happening since you were like 25, so you've been living with visions of something like that happening for 20
Yeah.
years, I think it'd be a lot easier just to go get on the damn ship.
Well, I told you about that planet that I was on. I believe I was really there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how I got there and came back in my body the next morning, I have no clue. But the point of the matter was, I was there on that planet for real.
That's the
Okay.
whole thing. We can never be able to have full control because they're always going to be so much farther ahead of us.
All that aging nonsense, all that aging stuff is nonsense. E.T. would return you to the exact moment you departed. That would be wonderful. That'd be great. And with a plate full of toast, I bet.
But you know, Ron, all those synchronicities, that's the kind of stuff that happened on Close Encounters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kept seeing that mountain and they kept having this
Yeah.
feeling that something was going to happen and they had to be there and they. You know. And I mean, that really did happen. That was based on a true story.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I have not been there, which I would like to go there and just be there to, see the site and understand, everything around it,
Where is the Devil's Tower?
In Montana, I believe. If I remember right. We'd have to look that up to be sure, but I think it is. Mark would know. He's been there a few times. But
I don't know, but I mean that's the way shit really does happen. You know, symbols and pictures and something on TV, and it all matches up.
Yeah.
And
then... Devil Tower National Monument is in Wyoming. There you go. I was close. Okay. Devil's Tower rooms 867 feet above the trees. Explore the tower. Discover all this place has to offer. And plan your visit. Teepees along whatever. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. I thought I said Wyoming. It is Wyoming, yeah. Crook County, Wyoming. There you go.
you know what I was thinking the other day? This is funny. I was thinking, what if they did come out and just put it all out on the table? And then what the hell would the rest of us do that look up UFO stuff all the time?
Yeah. It'd be like, wait a minute.
You just wake up with no purpose all of a sudden.
That's right. See, now we're so busy trying to prove it, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to show everybody it's real and everything like that. And just like the paranormal folks that are hunting for ghosts, they're trying to prove all that's real, and that's hard to prove,
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of a personal thing, both the UFO thing and the paranormal ghost hunting thing is all similar, meaning that we don't have any tangible physical thing that we could even,
but we do
Sure.
fine. I mean, the government came and got the stuff and covered it up. We do
Oh
have
yeah.
useful stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And they paid a lot of tax dollars. They created a UFO research team in the government, right? And what's his name did that?
Bigelow.
No, well, he was part of that. He actually worked with them, but I'm talking about the guy, the senator that created it.
Yeah.
And who knows where all that money went and who supported it, right? And so anyway, we're no closer now than we were before, except the fact that we're a little bit closer to knowing that they do exist. Okay, something that we didn't know, even have the clue about before, except for our own personal, experiences. So I do think that.
What about the people that lost their jobs and committed suicide and stuff because nobody believed them, and they
Yeah.
got death threats and stuff?
Yeah. And they're gonna.
Family, so they would kill themselves so they wouldn't mess with their family.
Yeah. The ones that created the chaos for the individuals are going to have to deal with that at the time that is prescribed to them. Okay.
That's true. It will come around.
So we might not see it, but we might see some of it,
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time, we can wish things on people, and if we're not careful, they can come true. Now, what's interesting was I had this one guy, when I lived in the shelter, I was homeless for 2 years, and I lived in downtown shelter in Minneapolis, not the best place to live. All right. So I had an opportunity to try to get a housing thing. I was working on trying to get a place outside of the shelter, and I went to go try to live at this group home, but they didn't want me to stay there, so I didn't stay there. I had to go back to the shelter. But the strange thing was, I had some stuff in the storage in the shelter, and one of the workers there that had a drug problem, and he was in therapy class and all kinds of stuff to get through it. But anyway, he ended up taking my stuff, and he stole my stuff out of the storage. And so the only thing I had was a backpack, and I had a computer, and I had some stuff in it, and clothes or whatever, and so anyway, that was all missing, and the only thing I owned was gone, right? So I ended up telling the workers about it, and they did a little more research with it. The guy got fired. Okay, and this is after I wished this to happen to him. I said, karma's gonna get you. I know what you did with my stuff. Karma's gonna get you. And so anyway, I find him homeless outside of the shelter because he's banned from the shelter. Okay, and he was at the library, downtown library, not looking so good. I think at the last time that I talked with him, I actually bought him a cup of coffee at the coffee shop that was there, but not really caring about my stuff, but just knowing that what I suggested actually came true. Okay.
Yeah, it can manifest.
So, the thing is, he did the wrong thing, and he had to answer for it. And I guess you can call it lucky enough, I was able to see the response and the results of that action, which is a lesson to me that we got to be respectful and careful about how we do things. Okay. Whether it be the wishful thinking or whether it be, doing something to somebody, whatever that might be, something bad, then it's going to come back on you, really quick. Sometimes faster than you think. And sometimes you'll get to witness that. Like, for instance, when you see a car racing past you on the highway, and then you see him stopped by the state trooper getting a ticket, that's fun. I've seen that a couple times in my life. That's always fun to watch that. But yeah, so just be careful what you wish for. Make sure you have the right intention. Now, I was only so mad at that guy because he took my personal things, you know?
Yeah.
And so I wanted him to pay for that, you know? And he did. He paid with the ultimate price of, you know, getting kicked out of the shelter and being homeless himself. And, you know, you don't mess with people's things like that, you know? In any place in life, you don't mess with people's personal stuff. You know, that's just the way I think. Anyway. But anyway, that's about all I got. And there goes the light flashing or something. Or TV. That might have been TV. Okay. Oh boy. But all right, so we're almost at 3 hours. Thank you for joining me tonight. I did have this on Mixler as well, so that was fun. Hopefully, it all worked well over there, and I don't know if it was loud enough, but anyway, I tried. But we have 193 followers on Mixler. Let's hope we get 7 more to 200. We need 7 more followers to get to 200. So, I mean, we have 84,000 total listeners. I think we can get 7 more followers. Right?
Yeah.
So keep sharing. And yeah, I'll be working on your little adventure and project in a little bit here. About ready to call it a night.
About finished up.
What?
Other than finishing up this thing we're doing.
Oh yeah, we're done. We're done with the show.
So a few weeks of that, and I think my stuff's pretty much done.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, all right then. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Get on out of here. Get some rest, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Luffy, and thank you everyone else. Yeah. Thank you for everyone that was checking in and watched the show. And we'll see everybody on the next one. All right. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. And yeah, Bobby, good night.